We are dream girl. Okay, so I definitely just got finished watching Dreamgirls. If anybody's wondering, like, why is she singing that song and acting super weird? If you've never seen Dreamgirls, turn this video the fuck off and go watch it. Very, very great movie. Very great insight to the music industry, and a very, very close relation to the relationship between the Supremes and the lovely Diana Ross. So I'm gonna get off that high horse and, like I said, just go watch the movie. But I am here, as the title of this video says, to actually talk about my weekly wrap-up. I wanted to start doing these more this year for the simple fact that whenever I do my monthly wrap-ups, they're like 25-30 minutes long. Like, I don't see anybody sitting through a video that long. I don't want to impose anybody to sit through a video that long. So why not just go ahead and give people the opportunity to, you know, see it on a week-by-week basis and save me some time at the end of the month. So far this week, the first week of January, I have done an excellent job with my reading. Today is the 6th of January, and as of today, the 6th of January, I have read 6 books. So it seems like I am pushing to like read a book every single day, which is just not how it's actually working out. It's just so happening that I may be finishing multiple books on, you know, one singular day. Of course, this is not going to continue. This is going to completely slow down once school starts for me within the next week or so, because I am taking a graduate level English course, which is going to require me to do a lot of reading. So yeah, and this is the final semester before I graduate in May. So that means that I have a portfolio that I also have to complete and finish, and I'm just not looking forward to that, honestly. I'm not looking forward to that at all. But that being said, I am going to have to invest some time in that, which means that audiobooks will probably become my best friends. So, onto the books, enough of me rambling. So the first thing that I read so far this year is Mononoke Sharing, and like I always say, I'm not going to attempt to pronounce the author's last or first and last and whatever this is. I'm not going to try it because it's just too confusing and I just can't say it. But I actually have already done a first impressions review on this manga, so I'm not going to really talk about it too much. It's just about a teenage girl that ends up living in a house full of demons, 5 to be exact. They all are different demons. They have these weird quirks about them, and she's taking the opportunity to get to know them, which I find to be completely and totally fascinating. So this I gave 4 stars to. Yes, 4 stars. And I will leave the video of my review of this book in the card symbol up above. The next book that I completed is My Hero Academia Volume 1 by Kohihiro Koshi, and I absolutely enjoyed this. There were some aspects of it that I thought maybe were going to be a little repetitive, but I also did a first impressions review of this book, so I will be, once again, the symbol will be, or the video will be linked in the card symbol above, so I won't be talking much about it, but I did end up giving this one, I believe, 3.5 stars. The third book that I finished this week was the Cartel 2 Tale of the Murder Mamas by Ashley and Jaquavis. This is the second book in the Cartel series. I won't talk much about the book itself because I can't really say anything about the plot, because these books are very plot driven and any small detail about the plot essentially ruins the entire book. Just know that I really enjoyed this. Jay still hasn't finished it yet, so I'm waiting on him to finish. We have the third books currently sitting in an Amazon cart waiting to be purchased, but I thought it was fascinating. The end literally blew my mind, and I was so pissed when I got to the ending of this book. And so that makes me definitely want to pick up the third book and dive into what's going on with this family in reference to Carter and Mia Moore and Diamond and Mecca and so many other different characters. So as that goes, I wish I could tell you guys more, and I may do a series review where I do like a discussion and talks about it. I know Jay and I are supposed to do a review, and I'm still debating on whether I want to do that as spoiler free or spoilers, but I may just do spoilers because it's kind of hard to not talk about this book in a, or to talk about this book in a spoiler free way. because you can't really say anything. So I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. The next book that I finished this week was Dread Nation by Justina Ireland. If you didn't know, Dread Nation is a historical fiction slash fantasy post-apocalyptic type of book where the Civil War is done and over with, but not really, because during the middle of the Civil War, all of a sudden the dead started rising back up, and they basically are, yeah, they're eating people. So we have this element of zombies, and it is told through the perspective of our main character, Jane, and Jane is being sent to this school where they train black girls to become attendants, meaning that they protect white women and men from the zombies. We also find out that there are schools for Native Americans, and there's a lot of social commentary in this book. As you can see, I tabbed it, and the orange tabs in this are based in the fact that it is social commentary. What I had a problem with is that a lot of times she would make social commentary and she wouldn't follow through with it, and it really irked my nerves and bothered me. I really truly also had a problem with the main character, Jane. She was arrogant. She started off great. Like I enjoyed her in the beginning, but then she started off getting kind of like arrogant and full of herself, and she was making decisions without thinking about the collateral damage that it would cause others. And then she just was really just indecisive. She just bothered me as a person, and I'm okay with dealing with unlikable characters, but it was just a lot of elements of this book were not fully thought out, and I expected more. So it was disappointing, and I was really excited for it. I probably will continue the series because I did end up giving it a 3 out of 5 stars, but I probably won't purchase them. It depends on how I feel about the second book, because hopefully the second book can tie up some of the plot holes that were in this book. But I'm actually going to end up doing a full-blown review of this book, so stay tuned for that. It should go up this week. Well, I'll go into more detail about why this book did not get a higher rating and why I did not enjoy it as much as I was thinking I would. The next book that I read is Nana Volume 4 by Ayazawa. This is the 4th installment in the Nana series. Probably one of the most heartbreaking volumes in the series because of the dynamic changes between 2 characters. But what I do like about this one is it focuses on the relationship between Nana O and Nana K, and Nana K actually has to spend quite a bit more time getting to know more about Nana O. She thinks she has Nana O all figured out, that she knows everything about her life, that she understands her inside and out. And I think this volume really proves that she doesn't know her as well as she thinks she does. And I like that this is kind of a bridge to them really building their relationship and agreeing to be more open with one another. And I really appreciated that and respected that. So I ended up giving this volume 5 out of 5 stars. And the last book that I finished this week was actually an audiobook that I listened to, and it's #Hater by Cambria Herbert. This is part of the Hashtag series, which is a new adult series that I discovered last year. I really enjoyed the first book. It ended up giving it, I think, 3 or 3.5 stars. This one was a problem for me. I did not like the trope of here comes the big strong man football player who's here to save the day because she's a damsel in distress and she can't protect herself. As a woman who has spent most of her life protecting and defending and providing for herself, I have a problem with that. I have a huge problem with that. Like, I don't like that trope of a man must save a woman, because let's be real, y'all, like, you know, So I had a huge problem with that. It was certain things that the main character Romeo was saying, like a real man drives a stick shift, and he was saying some really interesting there's sexual content in the book, but it was just kind of weird to a certain degree. Some things he was saying that I just was like, ugh, it was like really cringeworthy and cheesy, and I just didn't like it. And then the lack of research behind football was ridiculous. I may not look like it, but I watch college football and the NFL, and I understand how the process works with a game looks like and what players are on the field and how playoffs work on the college, on the collegiate and national level. I understand that completely. So there were things that she was saying in the book that made no sense. Like Romeo was in the book saying, oh yeah, well the NFL signed me. You don't get signed by the NFL. You get signed by a team. So I was so confused as to why he was saying stuff like the NFL had signed him and now he was being scouted. And another thing too, I think someone else had pointed this out, if people in the league were having like direct contact with him and like taking him out or doing anything like that is like not good. That's not realistic. It was just a lot of issues that it was a lot of issues that I found, that like he never entered the NFL draft, he just was signed. And now all of a sudden teams are now looking to pick him. It was just the strangest thing ever. And it was clear that no research was done. There was one scene where Romeo was on offense, which means the other team would have been on defense, and they said a running back tackled the quarterback, which makes no sense. There's no way that a running back is going to tackle a quarterback, if you know anything. So with that being said, I just didn't like this book. I didn't like the tropes. I didn't like the themes. The writing was okay. I enjoyed listening to an audio, but I ended up giving it a 2 stars. I'm debating whether I want to pick up the next one. It's up in the air right now. I'm kind of trying to make that decision right now. But if I do, I will be listening to the rest of the series on audio. So for the upcoming week, just in case you guys were interested, I only have a couple of things on my plate that I'm thinking about reading. I'm not sure what else I want to pick up right now, but the first thing that I'm going to be reading this week and continue to work on is Lady of the Rivers by Philippa Gregory. As you can see, I've already started reading this book. I'm about 50 pages in, and it is a very, very interesting book. A lot of magical elements to it that I did not expect, which is so interesting. Like, that threw me for a loop. It was a scene in here where she is married to the Duke of Bedford and he starts talking about magic, and I'm like, what? So this is getting really, really good. It is taking me a little bit longer to read this one because it is over 500 pages, and the font is actually smaller than in a lot of books that I have read. So that's the only thing to think about when reading this, but hopefully I can get a good chunk of this read this evening. The other book that I'm going to try to make it through this week is One Piece Volume 1 by Yuichiro Oda, and I'm excited to pick this up. I said that I wanted to make it through as much of the series as possible this year, so of course I have to start with Volume 1. This is a shonen manga, one that is huge. I think it's currently at like volume 88. So if I do like it and I end up buying the volumes, I don't know where the hell I'm going to put them. That's the question of the day, because I have no space on my shelves. Let me just have to go in a container. I really don't know. I don't know where they're gonna go, but I'm really looking forward to picking this one up as well. All right, y'all, that is it. My battery is about to die, so I just need to make sure I do this really, really quick. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more content from me, click the subscribe button. Let me know in the comments below what you have read so far for the beginning of this year. I would love to hear more about it. If you're interested in following me on social media, all of my links will be down in the description box. And as always, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.